Hello and welcome everyone to the channel. This is my Tibia 2026 progression project, Time-Bound Soul. For the entire year I'll be playing Tibia for 1 hour per day, documenting the full journey from start to finish. To keep things interesting, the vocation is completely randomised, so I won't know what I'm playing until the series begins. This is also a bit of a passion project as I want to get into editing and streaming, so look forward to see my progression in these aspects also. The goal is to see how far consistent, focused gameplay can take a character over a full year. No rushing, just steady progression, quests, hunts and learning along the way. If you enjoy long-term Tibia series and real progression, stick around. Up on screen I've put the randomised roll for the vocation and the roll landed on knight. So for this I'm committed to clubs, a weapon type I've never played before, so let's see how it goes. So day 1 I started off working my way through the new tutorial area, which I completed without any issues, and I set up my hotkeys along the way to make sure everything was set up going forward. This area these days feels much faster and streamlined compared to previous starting areas like Rookgard, which feel like they would have you trapped for weeks as a kid. I then moved on to work through the beginner quest Ravenous Madness, where you firstly have to kill 20 rabid wolves, a baby boss troll, and then loot in the backpack for your own vocation. This only contained a protection amulet for myself as a knight, which was then quickly burnt out hunting early. I then went on to make my first weapon upgrade from Salmon Thighs to go from a mace to a Morning Star. I then used the Adventures Guild teleport to head to Darashia for the first weekly task that I managed to get through, which was Minotaurs. This was a classic place I used to hunt starting back in the day, so this was very nostalgic for me as I began to build my loot bag. So we managed to get through the end of this task with our very poor skills and end the day on level 13 with 23 club fighting and 20 shielding. We also managed to loot around 500 gold in total. This was then boosted up to about 2000 gold selling the loot at Darashia. I didn't manage to sell any of the creature products on the market that day as they weren't selling. Day 2, a little bit less to talk about during this day, so I took the boat to Venor and headed straight to the swamp trolls. I luckily also rolled the loot prey off my daily roll, so that was really good to help with this goal. The hunt went really well. I almost finished up the bestiary with a few trolls left over and the loot was solid. I picked up 14 medicine pouches along with a bunch of other creature products on the way. After the hunt I sold off what I could and ended the session with around 5.5k. I then also put some offers up on the market, 11 of the wood at 300 gold each and the 14 medicine pouches at about 2.5k each, and now we'll see if they sell overnight. Before logging into the offline trainers, I made some small upgrades such as purchasing a steel helmet, plate armor, plate legs and a scarf for around 2.5k. This time I noticed plate legs have shot up quite a lot recently since the weekly hand-in tasks, so that was a little bit of a surprise, so I'll hold on to those later. So, day 3, our medicine pouches sold overnight, so I started by picking up some key upgrades. I bought some boots of haste and a dwarven pickaxe that I would need for later. I then finished the swamp troll bestiary really quickly before heading over to Anchorman to the Terramite cave. And this is where my low level skills really started to show. I originally thought this would be a quick task, but it ended up taking a good chunk of my daily hour as I wasn't really able to hit on the Terramites at first. I still managed to loot several Terramite legs, including some that were left by another hunter in the area. Next, I decided to head towards Yalahar access by doing the initial mission of the Explorer Society quest. Completing this allowed me to talk to the NPCs to travel to Yalahar, opening up a lot more hunting and progression options later on. I also made a quick detour because I got a 1-star bounty on tortoises, so I'll be picking up the crocodile task from Grizzly Adams and working on both at the same time. Taking tasks like this one throughout the series should help me gain some more ranks along the way. Then, before logging off, I grabbed a quick upgrade by getting the Fury Club when I got back to the depot. So for day 4 I headed back to crocodiles and tortoises to continue working on both the bounty and the Grizzly Adams task. While doing that, I also managed to complete the weekly task for killing 1000 creatures, which was a nice bonus for the day. I then went on to kill the crocodile boss, finishing off that part of the task. This is something we might return to in the future, just to tick off another task and also the bestiary. After that, I picked up the Elite Knight promotion, which is a big milestone early on, and then with that, headed to Yalahar to start working on the gang member task, setting up some more structured progress for future sessions. Then, to wrap up the day, I managed to pick up a pair of Zowan legs, which was a solid upgrade to end the session on. For day 5, I finished off the gang member task, closing out what I started in Yalahar the day before. After that, I headed over to the novice cults to start farming some rope belts to sell on the market to fund some equipment upgrades. I wasn't able to access the full area yet, so I ended up just doing laps of the outside, but it still worked out well for steady kills and loot. So that strategy paid off, and I was able to upgrade my gear by the end of this session. I managed to pick up a warrior helmet, demon shield, crown armor, platinum amulet, and a diamond scepter, which is a solid step up for the character. So overall this day, not much got done in terms of progressing around the game, but huge sort of progression in the gear aspect. So for day 6 I focused on completing the new weekly tasks which I rolled, most of which I was able to work on around Yalahar, making it efficient to move between hunts. I made progress across a few different tasks, taking down 39 gang members, 24 barbarian skull hunters and 37 dark apprentices, which helped me push those tasks forward. I decided to hold off on the poacher task until the world change was active, and also I wanted to pick up a few more levels before starting the Gosler task, so both of those are planned for later. To round off the day, I finished a session at Stone Refiners, started that quest, used some stealth rings, where I managed to grab a few extra levels. Things got a bit tense towards the end though, with other players trying to kill me, luring on top of me, taking stealth rings off, but I still managed to end the day on a positive note. So for day 7 I spent almost a full hour hunting safely this time at stone refiners. Towards the end of the sessions my stealth ring ran out, so I decided to end the day in the cave south of Vanor to use up the remaining time. It was a calm, efficient session and a good way to end the week. So to recap the first week of the project, we ended on level 32, 64 club skill, 57 shielding, managed to get promotion, around 20k cash and some decent overall gear, but there's still plenty of upgrades to aim for. So overall a really solid start to the series, the foundation is set and from here it's about steady improvement over time. So we're going to end on the YouTube cliche. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next episode.